Therefore, for your Cursor AI project, you now have the ability to connect to all thousands of apps found on Zapier by doing the steps I outlined here with the code, setting up this type of automation, and boom, 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 we get our data stored. In today's video, let me show you how to leverage Cursor AI to access external services like Gmail, YouTube, Instagram, whatever it may be. We're going to be able to connect it now. Therefore, a really easy way to do this is we'll leverage Zapier. There's over 7,000 different integrations we can start putting in our Cursor AI project. Sound good? Let's jump in. Welcome back, y'all. Today's video was a special one. A lot of people have been requesting this. I'm going to show you how to basically access any external API you would want easily in your web application or whatever you're developing with Cursor AI. And as you can tell from that bottom right corner right there, yes, Zapier called me up again. They're like, hey, we got to do something with Cursor. I'm like, all right, I got you. So today's video is sponsored by Zapier to show you how to do it. Here's the name of the game what we're going to do today. First off, we're going to be setting up a Cursor AI project together. This is going to build out a front end. In that front end, we're going to build out a form. In that form's data, we're going to send it to a backend like Zapier here on tables. You'll be able to see the entire process from step 0 to step done. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and begin. Come down here to the bottom left, click this, go to terminal. Now, if you already have a project, don't worry. We'll jump into how to do everything I'm about to show you later in this video. For now, this is for people that are starting fresh. Okay. Let's do it. mkdir. This is going to create a directory where we're going to reference all of our code, but take a step back. I'm going to leave a Google Doc in the description down below that goes through every single type of terminal command if you're on Windows, Linux, or Mac. I made this Google Doc so I can help everyone out. Check it out down below. That's going to help you with this first phase of this video if you need help or you run into errors. This one we're going to call Zap. Zap. Enter. I spelled that wrong. It's mkdir. Zap. Zap. Enter. There we go. Next, to navigate to it, we're going to put cd, zap, zap. Okay, so far so good. This will be different commands in Windows and Linux, so make sure to check out that Google Doc. Let's do the next step here. The next line I'm personally going to do is npx create react app. This is going to allow us to create a front end or basically a website with code. Now, if you run into an error here, it is a extremely high probability you don't have Node.js installed. Check out that doc again. Install Node.js, hit enter. We are creating a React app. Top 10 reactions. Once you get that little message there that says, happy hacking, I've successfully hacked your computer. No, I'm just joking. We're going to go ahead and open up the folder here. We're going to hit open folder. Simply navigate to the folder that you just created. So mine was called Zap Zap. So far, so good. Okay, let's go ahead and open the source here. This is going to be your app.js. We're going to go ahead and just run this in our local host. This is going to allow us to visually see this on how we'll look on a web browser. To do so, we'll go ahead and open up our command line again. Down here, terminal. And in order to do so, all we need to put is npm start. npm start. So with that launched and loaded, we get this right here. And just for reference of what this even is, watch this. Notice how this says edit source app.js and save and reload. If we come to the code here and just simply delete that and say, nah, I'm good, and save that, it will automatically show up here instantly. This is the perks of local host development. This is all run on your laptop here or desktop or your phone. I don't know about that, but let's keep going here. The name of the game of what we're doing here today, though, is I want to show you how to give data on a front end like this and put it to Zapier, therefore creating a really nice backend type of relationship. So the first thing we need to do is let's go ahead and create a form. Command A, Command L, Control L, Command A. We're going to use Cursor AI and it's going to code it for us. So as context, what we want to do is we're going to do the JS file, but we're also going to put in the CSS file. The CSS file is what makes it look pretty. So we want to make it look pretty. The app.js is the structuring. So I'm going to say, okay, for this code, make a form requesting an email, name, business name. Make this UI modern and dark theme. Obviously, you can request whatever you want in this context. I'm just here to show you how to connect the data here. So I'm going to hit enter. So far, so good. So we got a JS file here. I'm going to hit copy. Let's go ahead and paste it over. This is what it looks like without the CSS styling. So obviously, I mean, this was like 2001. This would pass. This would pass. It's not 2001 though. So we're going to come over here to CSS. We're then going to come over to CSS here and then paste over. And there we go. Looking pretty good so far. Step 1 of this tutorial is done. Let's go and connect this to Zapier. Now, what's super cool about what you're about to learn right now is this can be applied to anything that Zapier can connect to. And they have a lot you can connect to. Over 7,000 reasons why this is cool. Let's create Zap. Create Zap. And the way we're going to do this, the way we're going to communicate between the application here and Zapier is we're going to use a webhook. With this webhook here, we're going to say catch hook. No, this is not boxing. We're not throwing right hooks and left hooks. We're going to test this trigger here, and this is going to basically find nothing because we haven't set it up yet. But now we have our nice little webhook URL. This is going to allow us to pass data from our web application to Zapier. Therefore, now that we have this, let's set it up so we have some test data to play around with. I'm going to copy this. Coming back to our application here, really simple stuff here. We're going to go ahead and chat with app.js. All logic, e.g. the stuff the application will actually do, will incur in the JS files. Everything to make it look good and nice will be in the CSS files. Let's make our lives easy. We have a Zapier webhook here. Provide the webhook URL. Have the form data sent on submit, e.g. when the user hits submit on button. Hit enter. All this looks good here. I'm going to hit apply. It'll show me the changes. That all looks good to me. I'm going to hit accept. So here's what's going on right here. Basically, on handle submit, it's going to reference that webhook we just created in Zapier. And then it's going to provide the data that was found in the form, e.g. form data. And then as you can see, we're setting the form data from full name, email, and business name from what the user puts in. Now, there's a bunch more I could jump into here, but I'm just trying to make you understand the fundamentals of how to connect data to Zapier and do really cool stuff. Now, if this is done and I hit save, let's submit some form data. I'm going to go ahead and put in some dummy data here. I know, really impressive, right? Brown at Gmail, Brown LLC. Hit submit. Or I guess get started in this context. Get started. So we did receive an error there, but don't worry. This has to do with the fact that we're in localhost. This is a local environment. So let me show you a workaround. This is a CORS policy error. When you launch your application to a live website, you won't hit this error, but because of the fact that we're dealing with local development, this error shows up. This is basically a security thing, but don't worry about it. Let's go ahead and do a workaround so we can still play around in localhost. We're going to do CORS here. We're going to come down to this one that has a little bug. Go ahead and click it, add it. I've already personally added it. And then go ahead and pin it to your taskbar here, click it. And then when you see that orange little C, it's live. This is important. This allows us to test around in a development environment. Get started. Form submitted successfully. Now, what I encourage you to do is don't leave this on. Only leave this on when doing tests like this. So right when I'm done, I'm going to turn it back off. Don't leave that perpetually on. And there we go. From our cursor application here, we were able to grab that exact data from that form. Now that logic right there, you can apply to anything now. In theory, we could apply any block here. But what I want to show you in today's video is let's take this data and put it into a table in Zapier. So we're going to do an action here. We'll choose tables. And before we go any further here, let's go ahead and create a table. In our table dashboard here, we're going to come up here to create. We'll do blank table. Table name, we'll say, I'm just going to put cursor AI data, put whatever you want, create table. And here we go. We're going to set up our email, do our name, and we'll do business. With all this added here, let's go back to that Zap. I'll see about having this Zapier automation in the description down below. But from here, we're simply going to do Zapier tables, create a record, configure, choose that table. So for us, it's cursor AI data. And then simply put in the relevant data that we received from that form. Hit plus. For email, we'll put in email. For name, we'll put in the name. And for business, we'll put in the business name. Continue, test step. And there we go. It shows up right in our table with all the data associated from our web application. Therefore, for your Cursor AI project, you now have the ability to connect to all thousands of apps found on Zapier by doing the steps I outlined here with the code, setting up this type of automation, and boom, 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 we get our data stored. If you felt like you learned something, make sure you leave a like. It's completely free. It helps me out here. I'm going to leave some videos at the end here that may interest you, and I'll see you in the next video. We can connect to anything now. Any application. Those are 2 random videos. That's my face. I'll see you in the next video.